hello, my friends, and peace on you. Welcome, guys, to episode, I think it's 31. I think that's what I heard earlier. And guys, welcome to the barn, Third Stage Ranch, big time Glen Rose, Texas, Somerville County, at your service. Guys, God bless you so much. Today's going to be a little bit different because I've got 3 friends here, and then I've got 2 friends over in Crowley. I'm going to introduce everybody to you here in just a minute. But guys, you're going to love today's broadcast because I've got my good friend Shaun Tabatt is going to be with me later on. And Shaun has an amazing book about near-death experiences. And friends, we're going to be talking about what happens when you assume room temperature. That's what's going to happen today. And these people that, they died, they went to heaven, then they came back and lived, and then they died again. And we got some great things to talk about. You're going to love this. So please like this, please share this, please push the buttons, ring the bell, do the thing, and let me know where it is that you're watching from all over the world, and we'll try and give a shout out to you. My good friend and my boy Ben is here behind the cameras with me today, and he's going to be looking through your questions. And as always, I can't wait to just be exclusively with my ODX peeps behind the veil, right? It's the ODX family, the Prophetic Life family, all of us that are part of Brewer Ministries, and you guys help me so much. So we have something exclusive for you because in just about 30 minutes, guys, we're going to be stopping what we're doing here, shutting down all the social media to where we can no longer be censored, and then going exclusively to odx.tv. And y'all, if you haven't already signed up at ODX, please do so. Go to odx.tv if you go to stage 2 or if you go to stage 3, right? Not only will you have the archives of all 31 of the past Pulse episodes, but all of my teaching series, including a year and a half's worth of of content with my good friend Jamie Galloway as we went through line upon line through the book of Revelation. All of my Numbers That Preach videos are there. All of my Everything a Pastor Needs to Know videos are there. All my prophetic stuff is there. It's all there. So guys, you get full access, I should say, whenever you partner with me at odx.tv. All right. So joining me here in this room right now is my good friend Brian Schwartz. Brian, how are you?
Man, I'm doing good, dude. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to today.
I am too.
As soon as we get done with this, we're going to hop in the vehicle and we're going to drive out to Redemption Ranch, and we're going to be out there. And we'll also be filming out there this week. I'm going to set up all the cameras, and we're going to be doing podcasts and filming out there. But I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm excited.
I got to ask you a question, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever died?
No, not physiologically. No, I have not.
You never died?
I've never died.
That's a funny question.
That is a great question.
And the guy that we're gonna introduce, that's like a legit question he could ask people.
Yeah.
Hey man, have you ever died? Because see, I do books. My last book has 17 different near-death experiences, meaning people died, they went to heaven or they went to hell, and they tell their whole story, and then they come back up and they start sucking air and saying, hey, and so it's a legit
a bit of a change.
It's a little bit of a change.
Transforming, I would imagine.
Make an impact on you.
I would think.
Puts
things in perspective.
Okay, well,
no, that's great.
Brian Schwartz, who's on staff with me, former NFL football player, currently awesome person with Brewer Ministries in your face. Okay, yeah, it was cool he's in the NFL, but I promise you, it's way cooler that he's with me. That's my.
Yes, I count it a privilege.
So do I, sir. Now, about 50 miles away from here, a little bit, mostly west and a little bit north, there's a little town called Crowley, Texas. It's in Tarrant County, Texas, which also is the county seat. Well, Fort Worth is the county seat for Tarrant County. And there's a little studio there. There inside that studio is one of my daughters in the Lord, and this is Miss Connie. Hey, Connie.
Hey, Pastor. Hey, y'all.
What are you doing? Are you wearing your hat today?
I am. I'm wearing the same one from yesterday, this one.
Oh, the one that you would not let me sign.
Yes, because it is felt and I don't want marker on it.
Well, you're still out of the will, so that you know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Right on. Hey, before we introduce my other friend that's sitting next to you, is there anything that you want to, hey man, you saw the show yesterday, you saw the results. What do you think, and what are you going to be adding to our show today?
Well, I was super excited that we kind of touched on Revelation, especially with Jamie Galloway being back here in the house, but with us. That was really fun. And because I do go back and I look at the Revelation report on the on odx.tv. So it was really fun that we kind of touched on some of those topics. And today I'm really excited to hear from Shaun about his book. And one of my first questions will be, like, what was the most surprising thing for Shaun embarking on this whole journey with the book? Like, with these different stories, what was a common theme that surprised him? And what just in general was like, whoa, I never really thought about that, never really thought about that type of encounter, So that's my today.
He's got some weird ones. I don't know if you've actually read his book or not, but I have. Although he did not ask me to endorse it. I want you to know that. Okay, my friends tend to ask me to endorse their books. He did not, but we'll ask him why I didn't. Schwartz, did you endorse his book?
I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't.
So I would like to also say, sitting next to you, Miss Connie, is the lovely and gracious Miss Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, what's going on?
Hey, Pastor, it's going good. It's a great Wednesday.
Good. Are you having a good day today?
I am. We are preparing for tonight. It's going to be good, and we are excited for what God's going to do tonight.
What's a part of your worship set there at Open Door Church?
We are singing Who You Say I Am. He has been good, and we are doing Standing in Your Love. So
Little girl, you know, I've been a worship leader my whole life, and so I'm going to ask you your take on this here real quick.
Yes, sir.
When you look at your set, and because Pastor Pauline's really giving you a lot of leeway, right? And she's giving you a lot. And like, okay. And by the way, Pastor Pauline is in South Korea with my beautiful bride, Leanna. Yep. And they're having a hootenanny.
Yeah.
But guys, do y'all know that Leanna was invited to preach at the biggest church on the planet Earth for this coming Sunday?
No, sir.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
Such a blessing.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a whole other thing. She's going to be preaching at that monster mega church in Seoul, Korea.
Wow.
And she said, I will preach there if you'll let Pauline sing. So Pauline's going to be leading worship there. That's going to be great.
Good. We love her.
It's going to be really good.
But,
it is a pack.
It is. It is.
So Pauline, when you look at the, you know that John Arroyo is going to be talking tonight, and then he's going to be preaching. You're going to be leading praise and worship there tonight. What kind of ministry opportunities? What do you feel like in your spirit's going to happen there at church tonight? And what are you planning on doing?
I love what y'all said yesterday about what has happened after the eclipse and what has anything changed? Do you see an increase? And I think Sunday we saw a freedom like never before. It was beautiful. It was just things happened on Sunday. People were getting healed. There was people getting cast out demons. I mean, it was happening. I mean, I don't even know it's a second service, but there's just something that has shifted in the spiritual realm. And as we prepare, not knowing what Pastor Royal's message is, I always ask the Lord, what is it that you have for your people today? What is it? What is a message? What is it that you want to do? Because I could have my set, but his set is completely different from mine. So I'm very, very intentional. And I love Wednesdays, Sundays too, but Wednesdays we're more intentional. We have 30 minutes. He's not subject to time, but I love that we have those 30 minutes because anything could happen within that minute in that 30-minute range. So I'm very, very just being intentional. I think that's the word for tonight.
All right. Well, you need to hear your Papa Troy tell you this, man, and permission granted. Just bring King Jesus. Just do what you always do. If miracles break out, go with it, man. I bless it in Jesus' name.
Yeah, we're ready. It's going to be awesome.
All right, friends. Well, guys, buckle your seatbelt. I'm about to take you on a wild ride through 17 different stories of people that have died and then came back and then told their story about that. Now, there's a person that actually documented that, and with another man by the name of Randy Kay, they put together a book after all these investigations and all these collections of all these things. And guys, this guy is here with me today. Guys, this is my good friend, Brother Shaun Tabatt. Hey, Shaun.
Hey, Brother Troy. It's good to be back in the great state of Texas. I missed you, man.
I missed you, buddy. I missed you, too. I don't think you've been up here at the top of the barn before, have you?
This was a blank space last time I was here.
Yeah, well, I've got pictures of days of my youth in here, and that's some cool.
Yeah, I love the one back there.
You like that one?
Bow in your neck. That's what we all did in those.
That's right, man.
Put our necks.
I'm not bowing my neck. I was the picture of strength.
You're bowing your neck, dude.
I'm not bowing my neck, man.
You sure are.
That's like 1982, I think. That might be 1981. 1982, something like that. It's pretty daggum crazy. Yeah, the name of that band was called the Midnight Riders.
Nice.
I got one more silver dollar. Yep. So you're here with me. No longer live in Michigan. You now live in South Carolina.
South Carolina. I keep
Right.
moving closer to Texas. Eventually, I'll make my way down here.
Someday, sir. Someday.
If the Lord tarries, yes.
Amen. Well, welcome, my friend. So not only are you my good friend, not only, I think we've known each other like 5-7 years or some crazy
Somewhere in
thing.
there. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But you're also my book publisher.
I am.
Right on.
We've worked on a few projects together.
You were the very first person here's what's real. I wanted to get my book published through a bunch of people, but you were the one who did it, man. You were the one who you and I started together with Redeeming Your Timeline.
Right. Yes, that fateful day at NRB, Jamie wanted us all to have breakfast.
Jamie
Me,
Galloway.
You, Ben, Jamie, my son Jeremiah, in a Prius. It was memorable.
Yeah, he pulled up in this little Prius. Remember that, Ben? There were like 10 of us climbed in there. It was like,
That's little
Yeah,
car.
they're tiny.
They're
Wriggling
tiny.
Brothers.
Yeah. It's a
Yes.
tiny.
Yeah,
Is it electric?
Some,
yeah,
I think
so
like
we did.
hybrids.
We all jumped in there and we got on there and we went to go eat and then you and I talked
Yeah.
and
You said, hey man, if you ever get down to Texas, come visit me. And I actually came to Texas for a conference 2 weeks later, and the rest is history, man.
we stayed up late and talked about a book and talked about what could Redeeming Your Timeline look like, how would that work, and then also too how you would partner with me, which I just want to tell you in front of the whole world, it was amazing. I mean, you guys got me on the 700 Club. You guys got, all these big things I'd never been on before. I got on Sid Roth. You got me on a 700 Club and a million other little podcasts
Right.
that a lot of people don't know that are now all good friends of mine. And it opened up so many doors. So I just want to say thanks, man.
Oh, my pleasure. I mean, I love my biggest joy is when I network two people together and then they start doing stuff without me. Like I feel a little left out sometimes, but that's the whole idea is the kingdom expands. You meet somebody, you partner together, and it just all keeps going from there.
Well, we'll be going back to the girls in Crowley here in about 15 or 20 minutes or so, but let's just me and you and Bo Schwartz have a talk. You want to?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right. So you put together this book and you know a lot about books. I wonder how many books you've ever read in your life because that's all you do. You do it for a living. You also do it for pleasure. You're surrounded by books. You're with Destiny Image. You are my publisher. And Destiny Image, big shout out to Destiny Image.
Yeah,
Destiny Image. Yeah. All right. So, and by the way, I want to just tell you this too. Some people told me before I got signed up, whatever you do, don't go with Destiny Image. You're not going to like them. Man, I want to tell you, I have loved working with Destiny Image. You guys have been perfect for me, man. I can't imagine anybody not liking being a part of the Destiny Image. I honestly cannot imagine it. It's been nothing but excellent since I've been with y'all.
I think one of the distinctions we carry is we're very relational.
Yep.
Be it especially me, Larry, Tina, those of us who are really on the front lines, hanging out with authors at conferences and events. For us, it's about family and kingdom and just, if we're going to run with somebody, I want to run with you for 25, 30 years. Like, I just don't want to do one book. And I feel like that's just something different that we carry to some degree. For a lot of us, it's more about the ministry and the calling. The books are one way that I make a living, one way that we help you fund all the projects you're doing. But it's a very different way of looking at publishing and just the assignment we have. And I feel like that's one of the reasons we can be a little more successful because we're in it for different reasons.
Schwartz, there's a ton of people that support our ministry that help us save boys and girls out of sexual trafficking, that help us build churches, help us build rescue centers, medical clinics, and all that. The only reason they got plugged into us is because they read one of my books.
Right.
And man,
what a tool. What an amazing
it is
resource.
amazing. And dude, we've gone through thousands of books. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of books since I hooked up with you. It's pretty daggone cool, man.
Amen.
What do you like? What do you enjoy most about when you met Troy or heard his story? Give me some backdrop there.
I will say, I remember the first time he tried to explain the Redeeming Your Timeline concept.
Wow.
I think it involved drawing on a napkin, and I was like, I had to really think about it for a few days. So you kind of blew my mind, which sort of surprised me because you're in the space long enough. You feel like you've heard every prophetic thing under the sun, and I think what helped me to catch the vision for it was the train and God being above the train. We're stuck in the middle of the train, and God can see the caboose, he can see the engine and everything that's going on in between. Like when you shared that, then I understood the concept. But until you kind of drew that out on a napkin, I was like, well, this is a different take on this.
Yeah, I remember the napkin and it had gravy on it. And I read me trying to explain time and physics and how the supernatural takes all that over in my hillbilly accent. And you going, okay. I thought this guy's never going to sign me up. So
Testimony, like a big thing for me is we get authors will share stories, people will reach out to us, and we get testimonies of how these books have changed people's lives. And we started hearing from people saying, this redeeming your timeline concept, it allowed me to have this massive breakthrough, this massive healing from some trauma in my past. And so, I always want to see people applying the message that they encounter in the book. And man, if it changes a life, I'm glad we sold that one book. Like it's worth it for that one situation of ministry if there's a life transformed.
Well, it was on the bestsellers list. He kept sending me all these. Once the book took off, he kept sending me all these pictures of all these graphs. Hey, man, look at this. You're number one in this. You're number one in that for a long time. Yes, it was.
It continues to sell.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. That was a cool ride. And then again, following that, I got on Daystar. I got everything. And so that was a real big part of all that. So thank you for that, man.
My pleasure. I'm glad we're still on the journey. We're still going.
We're still going, buddy. And so we have another book coming out. I think December of this year, I think.
Yep.
And it's Numbers That Prophesy.
Yes.
Numbers That Prophesy. And so I've been working on this book for a couple of years, and it's historical. It's 7 historical accounts that everybody knows. It gives all the details of everything that happened, and it shows all the prophetic numbers and the prophetic words and what God was speaking in past history through historical events. So that's kind of weird because a lot of people only think of the prophetic as foretelling.
Exactly.
But this is actually the prophetic for history.
That's cool.
When I saw the first draft of that manuscript, it kind of broke my head. Like it wasn't what I expected at all. Because I'm always expecting that. I've seen some iteration of something in a past book. Like every 10 years, the whole market kind of recycles, and then you got a whole new generation writing on prayer and prophet, this, that, and the other thing. I've never seen anybody apply a prophetic lens to history the way you're going to do in this new book. I think people are going to be surprised.
Abe Lincoln, talking about that, brother. Let's see. I'm talking about First Man on the Moon, talking about a bunch of crashes, the death of Princess Diana.
Yeah.
We go through all these different events that everybody's aware of, 9/11, and we go through those, and then we break down what were the numbers? What were the names of the people? What were the names of the street? What were that? And if that was a dream, what would it mean? And it's like boom, 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 boom. It's like that. Yeah. So Connie's over there in Crowley, and she's online right now. Connie helps me do all of my research. Connie, you've worked really hard on this thing, haven't you?
Yeah, me and the R&D team.
Yeah. So I have a research and development team. We get together. These girls say, hey, you want us to go this way? You want us to go that way? Because it's like, hey, here's what I know. It's kind of like this, okay? There was an earthquake, and it happened in Candlestick Park, and it broke up the World Series, and it was the Giants, and it was the A's together. And once all that happened, where are you going? Okay, thank you. And then once all of that happened, if that was a dream, what would that mean?
Yeah.
If it broke up the games for 10 days, and then if during that 10 days, if Jim Bakker and Zsa Zsa Gabor were both sentenced to, Zsa Zsa Gabor got 40 days in prison, Brother Jim Bakker got 40 years in prison. All that happened during that time. If that was a dream, what would that mean? I mean, everything I said is true about the San Francisco earthquake. And so looking at those events is pretty cool. But we're not here to talk about my book. We need to talk about your book because we can do this all day because we're all friends. And I like this. All right, dude. What is your book? What's it called?
The book is Near-Death Experiences, 101 short stories that will help you understand heaven, hell, and the afterlife. And we took a bit of an unorthodox approach to it where we took 17 of our favorite NDE kind of interview stories. Randy and I have done a ton of podcasts talking with people all over the world who've died, been to heaven, been to hell. And what we attempted to do in this book is to give Christians a framework for processing, understanding, being able to kind of recount and tell these NDE stories. You see the frameworks a lot more in like secular, more even new age books in the near-death experience space. And I'd never seen anybody try to make that kind of a grid in the Christian space. So that's one of the first things that we do in the book. And then the whole rest of the book rolls out, basically walking you through those 9 stages, breaking up those 17 stories kind of into their component parts, and just giving you an opportunity to experience the variety that you're going to have in each of those different spaces, whether it's, how you cross over and, whatever path it is, what crisis that gets you into the near-death experience, having an out-of-body experience, going through the tunnel, going towards the light, encountering members of the Trinity, coming up to a gate in heaven, encountering beloved pets or animals, other beings, interacting with the environment of heaven. And so we just kind of try to break it up and process and give people an opportunity to answer some questions at the end of the chapter. And then at the end, Randy and I kind of give some closing thoughts and give people an invitation to encounter the Lord. And that's kind of the book in a nutshell. I've lots of dog stories.
Think there's chickens?
No
Yeah,
cats.
there's chickens.
No cat. Hold on.
No cats.
Turn the mic back on.
Hey, did you hear this? No cats.
No cats.
Okay.
Lions. You do have like no
Lions?
house cats.
No house cats.
Yes.
Nobody's
Which makes
seen.
perfect
So,
sense.
out of all the stories that you've heard of people dying, nobody's ever seen a cat in heaven.
Not in the people I've interviewed. Dogs, like beloved childhood pets or pets who were important in your life when you're going through a crisis. Like almost the pet seems to appear in heaven to give you comfort when you're trying to adjust. Jim Woodford encounters horses in heaven. Horses are a big part of his life here on earth, even since he was a kid. And then like lions, people talk about encountering lions and some other animals, but no house cats. Never have heard of chickens yet.
Yeah, we're here in the barn. We can hear all of our
We can
chickens
hear 'em.
cackling.
I feel at home. I got chickens outside,
Okay.
right outside my office in South Carolina. So it feels good.
Okay. All right.
I've
Good.
had chickens on my podcast before unintentionally.
Isn't it so right that the Troy Brewer podcast would have chickens in the background?
It's totally the right kind of Troy Brewer clap. Absolutely.
Okay. So so I'm just going to ask you, dude, what is your favorite one? What is out of all of them? I know a lot of them all of them are interesting.
Right.
All of them are like fascinating. I guess part of the story that's fascinating is how these people died, like what was going on the day that tell me about the day you died. What happened? That's kind of cool to be able to interview and ask somebody that. But what's your favorite one? What is it?
Oh man, I got lots of favorites. The one thing I'll say though is all these people, they weren't planning to die that day. Like in the sense of you really got to be ready because all these people were going about their life, doing their normal things they do every day. And all of a sudden they were in the presence of the Lord or found themselves in hell. And it happened in a moment. So it's not some light thing as you process these stories. It could happen to any of us at the drop of a hat. I've got so many favorites, but one of my kind of top 5 is Captain Dale Black. He's a good friend of mine. He has a new book that just came out called Visiting Heaven. If you want to encounter his story in like a fuller detail, Visiting Heaven would be a good read. He's a young pilot. He's with 2 other guys. They're on a routine run and they're taking off. And all of a sudden, one of the engines starts to fail and they're doing anything they can, emergency procedures, trying to get things right. And they just plummet into what they were hoping was going to be a field, but I don't know if it was quite a graveyard, but there's this like 2-story monument and they hit the side of the monument and the plane just explodes. I mean, just a million pieces everywhere. And so him and the 2 other pilots are laying on the ground and he wakes up floating above his body and he sees he's like, oh man, I see my friend over there. I see my friend over here. And then he realizes he sees himself. And people are often really disoriented, obviously, at first in that kind of a circumstance. But then they come to like, dude, that's me. That's me down there. Like they don't know what to do as you come to terms with that. And Dale steps into this whole experience of he sees EMS and fire come on the scene and they're trying to deal with things.
So he hangs around.
Right. So he
didn't immediately just go to heaven or just go to hell. He's like hanging around.
He's in the spirit. But he's has this prolonged out of body experience. Sometimes people transition, like they're rising towards the sky or the ceiling, tunnel, light, they cross over the veil and they're in heaven or hell, depending on the circumstance. But Dale is hanging out, floating above the crash scene. EMS figures out he's not actually completely gone. And so they are trying to revive him. He chases his ambulance.
Wait, stop. So see, wait, stop. I got to say. So there's so many things here. Wait. So Swartz, he's not all the way dead. He's just mostly dead.
He's mostly dead.
He's mostly
That's what I'm
dead,
saying.
right?
Yes.
So for the Princess Bride, oh, you think you're so smart. Not everybody's dead is all the way dead. Sometimes you're only mostly dead. Right. But that's like a thing. So there's like still like a warfare undecided thing that's happening, right? And so he's hanging around. He's not in his body. He's hanging around. And the Lord allows this to happen.
Yep.
And does he describe his sense as he's watching this unfold, chasing his ambulance?
Is he scared?
Is he
freaking out?
Yeah. What are his emotions? Is there, or is it just like a silent movie?
He's kind of scared and freaking out, but he's trying to figure it out. Like a lot of times people are trying to figure out how to get back in. How do I get back into my body? Like what the heck is going on? What's fascinating is Dale later, he becomes a plane crash like investigator. Like that's one of the parts of his career, and he was covered with avgas. Like he should have like the whole place should have been an inferno. No fire started in Providence because there's hot engines and parts and pieces everywhere and gas everywhere, and there was no fire at all. I mean that can only be the grace of God.
And they crashed into something,
into a building. Absolutely. So yeah, he's chasing his ambulance. He ends up in the ER and is kind of hovering over the people working on his body. And his one friend was dead at the scene. The other friend they were still trying to save him. And he hears this horrific encounter of he didn't know at the time that it was one of his friends, but just this evil demonic encounter, almost like the guy was being pulled down into hell. Like it was just this horrifying thing he can sort of sense as he's in the next room over or the other side of the curtain or something like that. And so that's just in terms of an early part of a journey, that's a crazy one.
Hey guys, you're watching The Pulse, and I'm here in the barn in Somerville County, Texas. I'm with my good friend Shaun Tabatt and my good friend, what's your name?
Brian Schwartz.
I'm sorry, I got your name. And also to my son Ben, he's here. And guys, we're here talking today about my friend's new book. And this is actually my book publisher. And he's a very good friend of mine. So for us to be able to talk about this study that he's done and compile it all, him and Randy Kay together in a book is a really big deal. So if you just joined us recently, that's what's going on. So are we just about done? Because I want to do a question.
You got 2 minutes for.
Right on. So before we go any further, can I ask, hey, Miss Connie, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a question that you want to ask us about this book and about, I don't know, maybe particularly about the thing we just did, or you have any questions from people that have written things in, type things up?
I'm looking through and I don't see any questions yet, but I have my own question.
Okay, go ahead and fire it up. We've only got 2 minutes.
So Shaun, I just wanted to know, with compiling all the different stories in this book, what was the thing that surprised you the most, or the thing that you kept coming across that seemed to be a common theme?
Sure. Probably the biggest common theme you see across so many of these stories is when they spend time with Jesus, they are so saturated with the love of Jesus, it just permeates throughout their everything, that when they return to their body, they have this love for people that is almost unexplainable. Probably my favorite example of this, in Randy Kay's story, he was a CEO, a corporate trainer, all these things, and they did all these kind of assessments, and you would get gridded out. Here's your personality, this, that, the other thing. And Randy would never grid out as somebody who was super empathetic or loving. And the whole time I've known Randy, he is one of the kindest, most loving guys I've ever met. And what's funny is he still did corporate training for a time after his near-death experience. And he retook some of these same assessments he'd taken for years and gridded one way. He shows up in this completely different quadrant as this empathetic, loving person. And so I don't know if I quite say that scientific proof, but it does show that your heart is so shifted and so transformed from being directly in the presence of the Lord. And that is a consistent theme I see over and over again, where there's love, there's compassion. And so many of these men and women who've been to heaven, their sole goal in life following the experience is they just want to tell people about Jesus. Have you met the Jesus that I met in heaven? And for some of them, they were about as Christian as your left foot. Like they were atheists, nothing. And that encounter with the Lord sets them on this whole ministry path that they never would have expected.
Hey guys, I want to invite you guys to get his book. Listen, y'all need to get his book. I think we have a tab or something that we're bringing up right now, lower third, something that tells us exactly where we can get it. So where can people find your book at?
Really wherever books are sold, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. If you want to buy it directly from the publisher, go to faithandflame.com. And you can get all three of my books there as well. So but wherever books are sold.
And again, what is it called?
Near-Death Experiences, 101 short stories that will help you understand heaven, hell, and the afterlife.
Yeah, that's outstanding, man. Well, so listen, man, we got to talk this stuff all day. And while we're driving out to Redemption Ranch, we got a 3.5 hour ride out there here in a few minutes. We'll have to share some of those. Hey, Connie.
Yes.
Have you ever died?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Hey, Rebecca.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever died?
No, sir.
Okay. What about you, Ben? Have you ever died?
I thought about it, but it's
Yes. That's a very crazy cool thing. Well, I'm so grateful, man, for you being with us today. And for all my friends that are on ODX, I just swallowed a fly here in the barn. I'm good now. No, I'm good. Everything I do is planned. For all my friends that are on ODX, you just stay right where you're at. And for all of my friends that are across all of our social media platforms, we're about to leave you temporarily. But first, I got a couple of announcements I want to tell you, and I'm going to let Miss Rebecca do that.
Yes, sir. So don't forget to like, share, and comment, and become a missionary with us. So yesterday, if you missed yesterday's episode, it is on odx.tv, and it's with Brian Shorts and Jamie Galloway, our special guest. Full episodes are available for stage 2 and stage 3, correct, Connie?
Yes.
So don't forget, share it, sign up, and let's be missionaries together. And again, if you missed Daystar with Pastor Troy, it is now uploaded on odx.tv. And you could see the whole episode with Pastor Troy on Daystar. And tonight we have our wonderful pastor, John Arroyo, and you could also watch on odx.tv, or you could join us in person at 301 South Dobson Street in Burleson, Texas, 76028. It is going to be awesome. And on Sunday, Pastor Troy continues an amazing series, Keep the Change Part 3. What has been your takeaway from that? I know we have a couple of minutes, but from the series that we have that started.
My favorite thing so far that Pastor Troy has talked about, honestly, I really like the title and the way that he came up with the title, because it's like, repentance is not just a one-time thing. It's a continuous thing. And I think that it has to be in your relationship with King Jesus. And I love that it's something that just realigns us to the heart of the Lord, to the heart of whatever he's doing. And when we're mistaken in what it is we're doing, and he's so gentle and kind to come to us and be like, hey, this is a gift I'm giving to you. And that repentance shouldn't be a scary thing. It's a gift.
Good thing. Yeah. All right. Sounds so good. And I think that's all the announcements.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. And y'all sit tight. For all my friends that are watching on ODX, y'all need to also sit tight. And then everybody else, you know what? Come over and join us at odx.tv. And for more information, or if you need prayer, call us at 877-413-0888. All right. That's all the time that we have. Let's go behind